Sedda tumekuwa nti tubalinza nnyo. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. 20 minutes past 8 o'clock in the United Kingdom. I think that will be 20 minutes past 10 o'clock in Uganda. I'm trying to check actually what that will be equivalent to in the United States. Hafsa, you will be able to alert me and tell me at least what time it is where you are. Probably about 2 or 3, should I imagine. Welcome to Come Let's Talk with me, Kassim, Kayira. And tonight we are talking about money, but money in a home perspective. What has money got to do? Money has been known to break or make. Let's start with make. Money has been known to make or break homes. How we manage money, how we make money, how we raise money, how we share money, how we budget for the money. 3:21 it is East African Gospel time in the USA. That's in Maryland, where Said Katende is. Thank you very much. It's 3:21 as we speak in the eastern coast, in the eastern United States of America. While it is 21 or 22 now past 8 o'clock in the UK, 22 past 10 o'clock in Uganda, 22 past 9 o'clock in Central Africa, that's Rwanda, Burundi, and Democratic Republic of Congo. Well, the program tonight is about money. We are talking about money and dynamics in the home. Many homes, many families, many relationships start on the point of not necessarily having money. There are those who will get married and they've already, one is already rich and comes to marry, a person. But let us create just as the sort of the norm, the normal aspect, which is many people just start off and then start looking for the money and then they make money along the way. A lot of times people are happy before they get money, but then once money comes into the picture, reality starts setting in. Difficulties start coming in. For a man, sometimes that translates into rushing to go and find, mathna or thulatha or ruba, second wife, third wife, fourth wife, because the money is there. For women, sometimes that means the ability, the attitude in homes sometimes changes because a woman normally because she's expecting something from him. If the woman can get what she wants, if she can buy herself the dress that she wants, the shoe that she wants, do her hair without having to consult or beg for the money, then it puts her in a particular position. It's happened that for some, that becomes now a point of contention because they are able to avail themselves with what they need, then it becomes definitely a problem. It might not be so much of a problem if the man is still earning a lot more than the wife and the man is still taking on his responsibilities in the home. But there has been a laziness that has evolved amongst men. But if you see a woman has asked for something, as you are still thinking about it, contemplating it, she already gets it for herself because she knows she can afford it. The next thing is now the man starts laying back because, if she can afford it, then why bother? Of course, now that starts widening the gap because the gap of I can do it, I can afford it, and the gap of if she can afford it, then I can't be bothered. The wider the scope, and then you start having problems in the home. But there are homes where people sit, husband and wife, and talk about things, the budget for the home, the contributions that might come, especially in modern times now where wives are working. We grew up in situations where our mothers would just be home waiting for father who has gone out to look for the money and provide for the home. That was sort of a different setting. We've ended up in a scenario where wives also go out and work in situations where wives are not only working, but they're actually earning a lot more than their husbands. And that has brought in tensions in some homes. But there are some people to whom that has not been a problem. We've seen, for example, from an Islamic perspective, the case of the Prophet ﷺ getting married to Khadija, who was a wealthy woman. And the way she just availed her money and said, you have access to my money. Like it was allowing him to be able to do the things that he could do in the times that he was living in, having access to the money. It's not an everyday thing. What was the expectation from Khadija on Muhammad, other than sallallahu alaihi wasallam, other than the love that he was providing? Was there expectation that he could probably bring in more? After all, he had gone to Syria doing business on behalf of Khadija radiallahu anha and brought in profits that she had never seen before, which means the guys she was sending were either not good or they were cheating her. And Muhammad SAW comes in with such logic. She's wondering what sort of man this is that could be so trustworthy. But this was Muhammad SAW. So when Islam was revealed, the religion was revealed, he was commanded to become the prophet that he became. All of a sudden, Khadija avails her money. Every woman can do that, but there are many women who do that. So therefore, I mean, that's testimony. It might be that you're one such woman. It'll be interesting to hear your side of the story. Says Jaden, you're saying my microphone is, oh, I'm buffering, or is it my end? It should be, well, I just saw something showing me that my internet was, but thank you very much. I think it's gone off now, which means probably I'm much clearer now. I hope I am. So tonight on Calm, let's talk with me, Kassim Kayira, live on 75 Dabi Radio, live on Ummah Connected, on Facebook, on Zoom, and on YouTube. We are talking money and the dynamics of that in homes. And we are asking the questions, you know, are you that sort of person that money doesn't shake? It could be that, wabidaba, you've seen it all, and now you are in a better place. Okay, I hope the microphone is better now. The internet should have improved. Ajat Sarah, I can see you raised the same issue as well. I'm hoping it's all right for streaming purposes. So as we do, if you've just joined us in this conversation tonight, the way this program works is that it is a conversational program. It's not about me coming in as the expert. You are the expert because your experiences now put you in an expert position. We share stories and experiences, and out of these, try to build up a picture that helps us now sort of get better, see what we can do better, see what we can avoid. And with language, English is our main language because we've got people from different corners, but there is nothing wrong with you skipping. It's not easy kuyomba mu Luzungu. So it is fine. It might be that you have something that is burning that might be able to go. Swahili can work as well. I can translate. Oh, Kinyarwanda, Kirundi, even Lingala, I think I might be able to do. What I can't is Yoruba and Igbo. Otherwise, Lugisu, Lusoga, Lunyori, those ones I'm perfectly fine. We can roll. So the program is Come, Let's Talk with me, Kassim Kayira, and why not open it up to the conversation tonight? It's about these particular scenarios that I've just been trying to paint in homes. Do you eat and discuss budget? Do you talk about money? Does it bother you when your wife is earning a lot more as a man? Does it bother you if your wife is earning more money than you are? And I'll say it as a secret to the men. It is a difficult position to be in. So most men will be working harder and harder. And my younger brother is famous for saying, "Omukyala muwe sente, oddemu omuwe sente, omwongere sente wemala osirike." And he was, of course, referring to the peace that you'll have in a home as long as you provide money. Are you that sort of money, or are you that sort of man? Or you would disagree with that? It might be that it's a pot, it's one hole that you can never fill up, however much you want to provide. Well, that's the program tonight, and why don't we open this conversation? I'll just start with the people that are new into the conversation or who keep bleeding in and out of the program. And since you might be able to disappear and go into work, I'll come to you first. Wana Said, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Hello, Said.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Can you hear me?
So we're very happy to have you into tonight's conversation. How are you, sir?
Alhamdulillah, I'm doing well.
How is Virginia today? Newcastle, we had 15, 16 degrees, nice sunshine. Then, as usual, the rain just came to spoil it all. But it's barakah from Allah. So it just came in to take away the warmth that everyone had glowing hearts. How is Virginia? Sunshine or rain?
Alhamdulillah, it's moderate weather here in Virginia, Henrico County. It reminds me of the good days back home in Chadon. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen.
Oh, that's nice to hear. Alhamdulillah. Tonight's topic looks like it has tickled the feeling in you, and money issues. It's money and the politics in home management. What I'd like to hear, first of all, your take. Are you the person who feels happy to just keep your wallet open there, available for Madame to touch? Of course, she's listening, so be careful about your answer.
Thank you very much, Sheikh Keke, for this insightful topic today. I have two versions of my response. One relates to back in days. I do not want to say we had quite a few irresponsible men, but I would like to relate it to the fact that it was a man's calling to take care of the family 100%. So this left many women behind the doors relating to how to manage businesses, initiating some sort of income generating activities until when things began to change. In this case, once the man became ill or was affected by any ailment that wouldn't let him attend to his businesses or business activities like he should be, there was a huge gap that was created. So this required our mothers to chip in and trying to learn step by step, taking those baby steps in a way of covering the gap. Now, as the trend, continued, it was a huge new perspective that required women to be involved. But what happened? The men slowly began to backtrack, leaving their responsibility to the women, because in this case, the women were slowly but steadily catching up. Now, currently, if you ask me as a man, and for me to manage my family effectively, I need my wife to be involved 100%. I have nothing to hide. It gives me a peace of mind to know what I can actually afford and what I cannot afford in this case of income and expenses vis-a-vis planning. But the trend, just like you hinted on in your introduction, women, at least here in the United States, have higher opportunities that make them in the better position of earning higher incomes than men. In that regard, it's very common, especially, sorry to mention, from the Black or African American race, to find many families where the male does not take up his responsibilities, not only to match the basic needs of the family, but even taking care of their women or wives. Why? Because they think the woman is earning way above what the man is compared to in their earnings. However, as a person, to answer your question precisely, it doesn't bother me because it gives me a peace of mind, but at the same time, it doesn't relieve me of my responsibilities of taking care of the family. But I just wanted to give you the perspective before and at least where I am here in the United States of America. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I mean, well, Said, I can hear, and that almost applies as well in the UK, where we've come to a situation where now husbands and wives have to sit, and many of us, in our times will have gone to a school and have attained a certain level of education, that has allowed us, even with the wives or with our wives, to be able to access work, which was not what our parents' time were. Our parents' time used to be dad going out and working all the way. But I also realized that in my family, for example, where I come from, my dad had more than 4 wives. Well, not at the same time, but we ended up having about 7 wives in total at different times, during his lifetime. May Allah have mercy on him. But what happened is that for the wives that were not sharp enough, their children ended up being unable to continue to perform well in education, to be able to, because it was about now the responsibility of your mom. If she was sharp enough, mom goes out and establishes a restaurant, dad comes and pumps in some money because he's seen the initiative already started. This is not one woman that is going to just sit down and, watch situations unfold. Starts a restaurant starts thriving a lot. Dad sees this is a positive thing. Other mothers are probably on something else, but it was a lot of times it was about the sharp wife that would be able to take an initiative. And these were exceptional women who sort of came out of, that cloud and started building up a sort of a picture. So we got to a point where now this restaurant comes to pay for me, for example, my education, my entire education, secondary, university, is all paid up by the restaurant, taking the burden off dad, and it was purely mom's work, mom's hand. It is not something that you found in our generation sort of growing up. But now we get to a time where the wives are working really hard, and the husbands are working, and the wives now are educated. They've got better jobs, as you say, in the United States, as is here in Europe. Women are earning a lot more than in Uganda. The disparity is not that much from what I've noticed. But in the West here, you find that with all the equal opportunities or women empowerment, there are particular things, and then the levels of education, because they've had access to go. Many men come here, they'll go and do these small-time jobs, factory, warehouse jobs, or whatever, manual labor jobs, allowing the wife now to go, if she's sharp, to pursue, higher education. Then with improved education, of course, is improved opportunities. Now, coming back, wife comes, she's in a position where now she can actually go on and get a better job. In some instances, that starts sort of bringing up a kind of conflict within the home, the kind of tension. I would like maybe to touch on the thing of Kwegwe Said as I move to the next person. The Kwegwe, I don't know what better word I would use in English to bring out, but every man, and this is many women sometimes fail to understand this. A man, the moment you show that there is something that you miss from a man. Yet women also, in a position where they have knelt down so much to beg and ask for stuff, the moment they find themselves able to access those things, Okwegwia goes away. So one is liberating themselves from Kwegwia. The other one is feeling liberated from not being Kwegwiad. I'm using this word deliberately. Yeah. And that now sort of opens up a sort of a new chapter. Is that something that you notice in the United States as well? That women now, having been empowered in that way, it might be that you are not the type that likes to be kwegwe.
So, thank you, Sheikh Keke, bringing in that perspective of kwegwe, because it could be a two-way traffic. But speaking to the men and how it affects our women in relation to the work and high-paying jobs that we just spoke about, it comes with the expectations. If a woman expects so much from a man, there is that natural flow. I don't want to go into the detail about that love being real, organic, or actually a pretense. But because This lady is expecting a lot from you, and you being the good man that was trained by a good dad, you know your role and you handle the expectations responsibly. This love will continue flowing and flowing until when there is a test of time, maybe an event, God forbid there was an accident that is not life-threatening, but will take you down, say, for a couple of months without you working. Not forgetting that most of the families that we know live by a paycheck. So what I'm trying to say is, the moment the expectations, what somebody else might call okweguya olw'ebyo byakusuubiramu, the more that curve goes down, it is more evident that things might be changing. I don't know. If it doesn't change, then you will know that this was real. Probably the love for over a period of time was organic. But that is actually the cause of many broken families, because majority of the women will feel liberated. Anti China chemweguyako katuli chenetaga nchifuna. I can take care of anything. I do not expect so much from this husband. After all, I earn more than he does. And because probably the man has not been meeting his responsibilities prior to this lady earning this highly paying job, then it will indeed be a liberation day for this young lady. And guess what? It's gonna affect the way, the normal flow of managing this home. So again, okweguya bwe kuggwaawo, regardless, butya bw'okukozesezza, whether a man or a woman, because the other way to look at it, you do everything for this woman as a responsible husband, and you have certain expectations in the house. If this lady is not meeting those basic expectations, it's gonna be the same feeling. Because the way to understand the situation, sometimes you have to turn it. You have to turn the mirror facing you, then you can understand it better. But what I'm trying to say, look at a husband who is providing 100%. And then the wife or the mother in the house is not even meeting the basic expectations to her husband. Okweguya kugenda kukendeera. Era awo abali genuine, soogera ku bali abalifuula etteeka
abajjidde ku mpapula
2, 3, 4,
yes,
ne ku 7 oba 10 ne batuukayo, nga ebitera okuzuuka nga wabaddewo ekyokugezesebwa ng'okufa. Naye expectations buli we zikyuka nga tezikyawera, people begin thinking otherwise, for real.
All right. Thank you very much, Saeed. I think
Thank you.
I wanted you to introduce us, to take us into this, deep into this conversation. It's already a conversation that is heating up on Facebook. Remember, on Facebook, if you were to send us a message or follow the program, you just look for 75W Radio, just facebook.com//75W Radio, or your facebook.com/Kassim Kayira, or just go to our YouTube channel, Umma Connected. Just look there, you'll just find the program streaming live now. Come, let's talk with me, Kassim Kayira. 45 minutes past 8 o'clock in the United Kingdom. On Facebook, Farida Sechimwanyi says, money shouldn't be an issue, but it makes some men uncomfortable when you earn more. I could spend 5 years without asking anything from him and do everything in the house, and he decides to leave to get someone he can look after. Aha, the Kweguya aspect now straight away comes in. Stella, I'm bringing you in shortly. Shamim Kemigisha, still on Facebook, says, interesting, financial discipline of a man determines how we pool funds. Discipline and behavior vary greatly among individuals and are influenced by various factors such as personality, upbringing, cultural norms, and personal circumstances. May Allah guide us all. Hajat Sarah tried to explain the issue of Kweguya, says taking men to be important and dependable. It's sort of it's just one element, but it's not. The Chiganda word now has a particular strength that is difficult to sort of pull out and bring out in whole. If I hear it, I think I would know. Stella in the chat room is saying that is true. KK, if a woman is laid back, then her children may not achieve to their expected potential like the children of the hands on enterprising woman. Abdul Karim says money ain't a problem, but how you use it is critical. Stella, I'd like you to bring you in here just to come and you've heard from Said Katende from a men's perspective, and I'd like to hear the women's perspective because women sometimes feel unappreciated. You've given it all and you've not been appreciated. But probably let's just start from your own take on the finances and the home management. Stella? Hi, Stella. Good evening. How are you today?
I'm okay, thank you, Sheikh. My internet, unfortunately, today is playing up, but hopefully it will stay on.
It has been. I've been seeing you on at least, so hopefully it should behave.
Yeah.
Yes, you've had Said Katende and then the issue of money, but so I would like to hear your own perspective. Are you that woman who feels you can open your wallet and keep it a smiling wallet to a husband, or would you rather he has to provide as is manly expected?
Sheikh, can you repeat that? Because it was breaking up again. Sorry.
It was breaking up.
What
oh,
did
my
you say?
apologies.
Have you saying smiling?
No, I was trying to get your view.
Yeah, it's not
topic tonight, money and the dynamics within the home. Do you think, for example, if you are earning more money, it would be a problem to a husband? He would feel, probably he would have a problem with that, or do you think it's not a problem at all? You share responsibilities.
Well, to me, it shouldn't be a problem, and I think it all depends on how the woman behaves, what kind of attitude the money makes her have, how she talks to the husband, because he starts picking up on the signs. I think so, really. I might be, just being naive here, but I think if he finds other ways of pouring into the relationship, either different ways of supporting, in the UK here, if he can help out with childcare, if he can help out with doing the school runs, there's so many ways of balancing the marriage equation, really, without him feeling like he's not putting in enough. He shouldn't feel he can only pour into using finances. That's how I think.
So would you rather, because, well, we are here, at least you being in the UK or being in the West, that then a woman should share the responsibilities with the man? And does that not take away the manness in a man? Because if you're going to be sharing bills, lots of women have come up to sort of say, you pay bills and I pay bills, and therefore, or your position has been challenged as a man in the house.
No, again, I go back to saying how the woman behaves and how she makes him feel in the house. I don't understand why he should feel less of a man unless he has his own egos that are not understandable. But I think
what do you mean? What do you mean when you say how the woman behaves?
Because some women develop attitudes thinking, well, now I have it all. I don't think I really need you as much. And she changes the way she talks, which means all along she has been pretending to be a certain type of character, and yet that was not really her. It was just a put on, some kind of a personality she has just adopted, maybe to get what she can from the man. And finally, when she can get it herself, she goes back to her true colors, which is wrong.
So in a home, do you think, the idea then would be, the situation would be sharing the bills, or would it be the man carrying the burden as he should?
I think he should carry most of the burden as he should. It's his responsibility, really. And then the woman can chip in, when she can.
Even if the woman earns more, because now the scenario we have is in a lot of cases, in many cases, women are actually now earning a lot more than their husbands. Would it still be then the man would still have to shoulder the burden?
Yeah, she can discuss with him, and I think she can get permission from him to see if she can take on some of the extra financial responsibilities.
Mm-hmm.
She can discuss that with him rather than saying, well, the rent is only £400 a month, you pay 200, I pay 200. I think they can discuss and say, okay, rather than it being 50-50, maybe it's 10% of your income and 10% of my income goes towards rent. Something like that.
Okay.
It's all about discussing. Yeah.
But you don't think that a woman earning more money could give her wings that makes it difficult? Because especially when you can get for yourself what you would have wanted your husband, because the scenario I was trying to paint, Stella, is a situation, and I've had several women sort of get into that. She comes to husband, I want this dress. For example, it costs 300, 400 pounds. She needs the dress. The man, because it's come out of the blue, it is sudden. He didn't have that provision for that. Says probably, can you be patient a bit? Let me work on to that. Wife is impatient because she thinks she has the money, buys the dress, and therefore doesn't feel like the other Kayira that we were talking about.
Oh, you're describing Stella. When I have my money, I'm also impatient. I don't wait. I don't have the time to wait when I get the money is on my account. Sorry, Sheikh. I just go for it.
And don't you think that would now take away the madness in the man? Because how do you think the man will be feeling, especially if he's promised to deliver?
You should look at it that I care about him, not to stress him. An extra week of stress wondering where to get that money for my dress. Surely that's the other positive side of it. Think,
yeah, but Stella, the thing is, if you do it the first time, you do it the second time, you do it the third time, because your impatience is a virtue in many women and even some men, but in many women. Now, if you've done this first time, you do it second time to a man, and I'm speaking as a man, speaking to you as a woman. What happens then is there is this laid backness that starts happening in the man, because he knows once he just sort of says, let me think about it, or whatever, you're going to do it, then he doesn't see the urge or essence of even wanting to do it. Do you see the problem that does? Hello, Stella?
Yes, I see the problem. I see the problem. It's a tricky one, but
okay, let me bring in Jaden. Thank you very much, Stella. Stay there. Jaden, you have had, and Stella, I think, was very honest in her submission, where she says she's one of the impatient ones. She if she asks and it doesn't happen, she will just go ahead. First of all, let me hear your own take from what Stella said, and then we go to the topic today, the wider aspects in the topic.
Assalamu alaikum, brother Kassim.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. How are you? Are you feeling the rain in Newcastle? Has the wetness reached where you are?
The rain is everywhere and it spoiled our day.
Okay, just brought me back home running. Yes, you've had Stella now. Impatience is a virtue.
I think I will agree with Stella to a certain extent, because from my perspective and from knowing what money is, there is the number of problems that money creates is equivalent to the number of families that we've got. So each family or each relationship has got their individual perspective or problems created by money. So it depends on if money is your currency of choice. If it is the commodity which you, either the man or the woman, uses as an item that makes things move, then that is the cause of the problem. Because when there's money, there's a shift of power towards where that money is, and also a shift of responsibility to whoever is holding the money. Now, with responsibility, there is added weight to whoever has got that money. And because of what money is, it also creates jealousy from the other end. So whether it's the man or the woman who has got the money, the person who doesn't have that money will have a sense of jealousy. I wish I had that money. I wish I could spend the way I wish. And why is the person with the money holding on to that money? And this is when we start getting that temptation, because a woman may have her own sources of funding, but because she has seen you with that extra income, she'll ask you for a dress or a pair of shoes or something, knowing that it's going to destabilize you. Not because she wants it, but she just wants to get your attitude. I mean, you
she wants to destabilize you.
Yeah, she wants to. I don't know what the word, but she wants to know
provoke you.
How is this man going to behave from a simple request? And with men being men, that simple request can turn into something different. And then also the jealousy part of it, because women have always been suspicious of men. And money is known to open doors, and it's known to open relationships where they are not meant to be. So if a man
when you say women have been suspicious of men, what exactly do you mean?
When a man has got money, he's more than capable of adding another woman to the mix. He gets attracted, yes. Other women get attracted.
So the idea then is to keep sucking the money from the man to make sure there is not much left to be able to get a second woman. Is that the idea?
It's not a question of sucking the money, but it's keeping a tab on it. Where is that money going? Is it going towards the good of the family? Is it going to an investment which is going to help the family? But the one thing that we forget is that we are very different people who come together to make that family. Now, the man has got his relatives and the woman has got their own relatives. Now, you would not expect me to like the whole family from the women, the wife's side. And I wouldn't expect them to also like the whole of my family. Now, the problem comes where you want to help an uncle or an extended family. You want to extend some financial help to them. Now, that becomes a point of contention. Why are you helping that person who is more than capable of looking after themselves when we've got our own problems? And I put problems in brackets because suddenly problems are created.
Yes.
You want to pay fees for an extended family when our wall needs repainting. And that is where the problem the problem begins. Now, the other point I wanted to bring is from a professional perspective. When people from we're talking about our people, the African people, when we came to this country, the dynamics was such that women became empowered because of the way the system works here. Because the law or the people that matter think that the women are better caregivers, rightly so, because they look after the children, they know the needs of the children. And when it comes to getting an income, the woman is empowered with that extra income, working tax credit, family tax credit, child benefit, and that goes to the pocket of the woman. Now, a family that has just come from Kenya, Zambia, South Africa, wherever, and the shift of money suddenly moves from the pocket of the man to the pocket of the woman, and the woman starts making the decisions. We're going to shop in Tesco instead of shopping in Asda, you know, those
Yes.
kind of little decisions. So the man feels he's disempowered, and that is a very painful problem that we professionals sometimes have to address. It's very little money, but it's just the decision that the wrong person is making the decision. Why should the woman make that decision when it's me who married her and brought her to this country? That's
so how would you put your foot down then to remain the man?
But you can't put your foot down. You can't put your foot down because the law is on their side. And this is where you find most families, the man is forced to leave the house because elements of domestic violence comes in, even if it is not physical violence, but that molestation of the woman because of that money. So the man is forced to leave the family home. Now the woman or the mother of the kids finds herself stranded with the children in the home, and they can't do certain things which the man could do, not the money, because there's things like doing the school run, there's things that are going to lock the back door when it's raining, there's things like pumping the car tire up. So the woman is left in that situation and having to fend for themselves. So the money creates the problem when it's there, when you're together, but once the family parts company, then money becomes less important than the presence of the other partner.
Hajat Sir, thank you very much, Jadin. And it's just 2 minutes past 9 o'clock in the United Kingdom. I think it will be 2 minutes past 4 in the East Coast in the United States, and 2 minutes past 11 o'clock in Uganda, or rather East Africa at the moment. Hajat Sir, I'm sure you're hearing what an interesting conversation this conversation has taken, the direction that the trajectory that this conversation has taken. If you've just joined us, the program is Come Let's Talk with me, Kassim Kayira. We are live on 75W Radio, live on Ummah Connected, on Facebook, on Zoom, and on YouTube. Munira, Abu Jamal, Aliyah, Henry, CA is that chairman, David Kauma. Very welcome to the conversation, and nice to have you. Hajat Sarah, please go ahead. And just for those who have joined us, if you, might have something you want to say, you can just raise your hand, and then we'll just give you the opportunity to say it. If you are too shy, maybe you can type it in the chat room and we'll be able to pick it up. But just make sure, because this is a conversational program, everybody's an expert, because what we are doing is sharing experiences, real life experiences that help to build our communities. Hajat Sarah, go ahead, please. And sorry for the interruption.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa
barakatuh.
First of all, I don't
stay like that.
Yeah.
You don't?
I don't know where to start. The conversation is so interesting, and I don't even know where to start. Yeah, but I personally, if I'm to talk about money, I'm a girl or woman who is wired in a way that I know that my man has provided for me. Doesn't matter how much money I earn. Because even as a young girl, when I was looking for a spouse, I was looking for a man who had a happy wallet. So I wasn't looking for a poor man.
Sarah, looks like you're...
I think it's your
Sarah,
side.
your line is... No, it's not my side. You're dropping in and out. Oh yes, actually, it might be my side. It's telling me my internet is unstable. Yes, you are right.
It has been unstable.
Yes, go ahead, Hajat Sarah. You're saying you were wired.
To have a man who is going to look after me, because even as a young girl, I was looking for a spouse who had a good income, so that I could be looked after very well. So if a man is going to look into my pocket to be the one financing domestic stuff, I would be very surprised and unhappy with him. Yeah, because if I'm talking about my marriage in Uganda, my Hajj used to look after me. He would buy me knickers, would buy me everything. I never had to buy anything. It doesn't matter whether I earned money, and yet I earned from him because I was his employee. He he paid me a salary, but then he never looked at it. It was just my own pocket money, and I had to use it the way I wanted. He paid me for breastfeeding the children. Oh, what's that? Okay.
Oh, it looks like we've been invaded here. Can we remove this, please? I'll just remove. Someone is penetrated our system. I've just